My name's Janelle. I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic that's in recovery. Most people, when they hear alcoholic or drug addict, they automatically picture someone who's been abused as a child, didn't have parents as a kid, all of these different things, but that wasn't the case with me. I was born and raised in New Orleans by two loving parents, both in the home at all times. My dad worked, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, but I always felt like something was wrong with me, the way that I felt about things, the way that I reacted to things, the way that I just felt inside. I felt very icky inside all the time. From the age of 6, I remember being in kindergarten and sitting at my desk and my teacher asking me why I couldn't stop crying, and it only made me cry more because I couldn't articulate what was wrong with me, why I felt the way that I did. When I was 12 years old, I smoked pot for the first time, as many people do. Many people turn to marijuana first because it's more socially acceptable, and found my escape. I found something that took all of that ickiness inside of my mind and my heart and made it go away. It made everything go away. So began my road to constant self-medication, always using other substances to take away the pain that I was feeling, that was sometimes imagined and sometimes not, and sometimes exaggerated and sometimes not. And it just got worse from there. Once I discovered that there were substances that could take all of this away, I went on to bigger and better substances like LSD, cocaine, ecstasy, Special K, alcohol. All of these things led me to trauma. Some people start off in drug addiction and alcohol addiction with a trauma before that they're trying to self-medicate, and when I was using, I ended up putting myself in positions where I ended up being traumatized. My marijuana use led to other drug use, which led to a string of unhealthy relationships, one of which during I was kidnapped and brought here from New Orleans against my will, and held here in Florida for 8 months before he went to jail. I was brutally raped the first time I met this person and was under his spell for the rest of the time that he and I were together. I've spent my entire life hiding my emotions because I was scared that there were other people that didn't think the way that I did, didn't feel the way that I did. So I never asked for help, which was the one thing that could have prevented all of these things. I ended up arrested in the Pasco County Jail on drug charges and a DUI charge, and decided that I no longer wished to use drugs to cover my issues. I started to talk to other people about the things that I was feeling, the things that I was experiencing, the things I had been through, and realized that I wasn't the only one that felt that way. I was not the only one that thought that way. The whole world wasn't as bad as I pictured it to be. And reaching out to others, I learned that was how to come out of the depression that I had had. I was diagnosed with depression at the age of 16. The way that my mind works, it automatically goes to the negative. Most addicts and alcoholics that I know, recovering and active users, are very pessimistic thinkers. We tend to go right for the bad because it's easier. It's easier for us to cope with life if we don't get our hopes up too much. I got involved in my recovery in a 12-step program that I work daily, that teaches me to become a better person every day, to try to make myself and my environment better so that it's easier for me to cope without the use of substances. I currently work as a substance abuse counselor, and have worked in domestic violence as well, in order to help others see that they aren't alone, that there are solutions out there. There are ways to feel better without having to rely on marijuana, cocaine, any other substance to make these things go away, these thoughts, these feelings go away. My life is absolutely better than I ever could have imagined. I am capable of being a single mother to 2 children. I am capable of being a full-time employee. I'm capable of being a full-time student and managing all of these things on my own. And just a short 15, 16, 17, 18 years ago, I couldn't manage to put a sentence together. It's absolutely amazing what reaching out and asking for help can do, rather than reaching for a drink or a blunt or a pipe or anything like that. I just ask somebody else for help, and I receive that help today. Early recovery, when you first stop using substances, can be particularly scary because this is when all the emotions come back. This is when you're starting to relive some of the things that you've been through. So as I said earlier, some of us are traumatized before we start using, and others of us are traumatized as a result of the use. I was trying to forget all of these things that happened to me while I was using, and it got really scary. It was really hard to deal with the rapes. It was very hard to deal with how much I had hurt my family members. It still affects me to this day, which is why I work on it every day, but it's something that can be overcome. It's something that can be worked on. The things that I've been through are nothing in comparison to the things that some others have been through, and I've seen people come back and live beautiful, enjoyable lives that have been through much worse than me. It's just as simple as putting your hand out and asking for help and taking the steps necessary, having the willingness to change on a daily basis that make it worthwhile. It's tough, but it's worth it. Anything that you do in life is if it's worth it, you'll put the work into it.